Alright, hey, HadesOmega here. I should probably take these glasses off. So I've got the inverter running, the battery's hooked up and everything, and then so we're gonna do a quick load test. Alright, we're just gonna see if the inverter works, see if my wiring here works, okay? So number one here is this outlet right here, okay? That's the sprinkler outlet. Okay? That's the sprinkler outlet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this to on. Okay? And that should be hot now. And then I got a heat gun here, alright? And so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna see, I'm gonna check the output. We're gonna draw power from the battery. And I want to see how many watts we're pulling out with that. Okay, so battery load is 0 right now, okay? So I'm gonna plug this into the outlet. Alright, kinda excited, man. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. Did HadesOmega wire all this right? That's a good question, alright? Alright, I got it plugged in and I gotta turn it on right now. Oh, it works! Yes, it works! We're eating up 300 watts right now, alright? This guy eats up 300 watts, alright? Woohoo! Alright, so that is the first load test that HadesOmega has done for with the solar powered garage. So I am so excited, it just worked right now, okay? So we're gonna have to test each outlet, and we're gonna do some load testing, okay? We're gonna try different loads to make sure everything in my garage can power on, okay? But yeah, it works. It just worked just now, so I'm really excited. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I just set this up in the last video, so we're gonna go plug in loads. I'm gonna go to sleep now, but in the next clip we're gonna go plug in loads and then test to see what appliances we can run in the garage. Okay, I'm gonna start plugging stuff in where they're stuff from the grid power. I'm gonna start plugging into this, okay, one by one, and then we'll test different appliances to see if it powers it, okay? And we obviously we have to test and make sure all the wiring is good, okay? But that worked right there, okay? I'm gonna turn it off now. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep and turn everything off. Also, I don't know how to use this thing yet. I will make a separate video on how to use this guy, okay? The Wi-Fi device. All right, I do not know how to use it yet. But when I do, I will make a video about it. Okay, so yeah, in the next clip we're gonna start load testing stuff. All right, I don't know if we're gonna do a capacity test. We're just gonna have to we're just gonna have to discharge everything, and then look at the capacity indicator here and see how much power it pulls. Okay, but we have to make sure it has a full charge. Okay, what's it at right now? It's at 99.5%, right? And it's at 278.4 amp hours. So it's already kind of ate up some power, all right? So this is pretty cool. So this works independent of this, all right? So if you wanted to set this to voltage, if you want to set this in a certain way, because this has a gauge and this has a gauge, okay? But we still have to test. Also, another thing we have to test is the PV input, okay? It's darkness right now, so we can't test the PV input, okay? So when the sun does come up, we'll plug this guy in, and then we'll see how much power we're getting and see if we can charge the batteries, all right? But yeah, obviously we wanna put some loads on the battery first, and then charge it, okay? Because we don't want to just charge it right away, because then it'll be like full already, right? Okay, so yeah. So I'm gonna go to sleep, but in the next clip we're gonna be doing some load testing. All right, we're gonna test a variety of loads and appliances in the garage, make sure everything works, make sure all my wiring works, and so far everything looks good, man. You don't know how happy I am that all that many hours of running wires and stuff, and connecting stuff has paid off. HadesOmega did it right. I didn't burn the garage down yet. That's what we'll say. Not yet, anyways. All right, HadesOmega out. All right, yeah. So also another thing is like, yeah, the battery, man. Like everything just, HadesOmega did it right. I plugged everything in properly, and nothing like didn't give me any errors or anything, or I didn't. I did get a spark. I got a spark when I plugged the battery in. That was about it. Okay, but yeah, everything that I installed, everything I connected, it was good. So far so good is what I'm gonna say. All right, so you don't know how happy I am after like 4 or 5 months of working on this, that I finally fired it up and then it works, and it looks like there's no problems with it. So yeah, no headaches. So I can I don't know. I'm so excited. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight. I was gonna say, all right, but anyway, I gotta go drag racing tomorrow, so I don't think we're gonna get to play around with this tomorrow, but we'll see. All right, here's we go. Oh, by the way, I just turned it off. So it kind of has like a startup sequence and it has a shutdown sequence. So when you turn it off, all the utility stuff kind of turns off, and then at some point the whole thing just poof, just turns off. I think it's kind of just stays on a little bit too. Let's see. It takes like a few seconds for it to turn off. There we go. Okay, now it's off. All right, so nothing is powered in the garage. The battery monitor still works. All right, I'll just put it on voltage, I guess. Okay, and yeah, so rest tonight, my friend, because tomorrow or the day after, we're gonna be putting you to work. All right, here we go. All right, HadesOmega here. It's the next day, and I want to go test to see if the solar panels are working. Okay, I mean obviously we know they're working because I checked the voltage, but I want to hook them up to the inverter, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, it is sunlight out right now. Okay, so I just want to do this real quick before I head to the drag strip, and we can play around. I still have to wash the solar panels. All right, so. But this is just a quick solar panel test. Okay, so I'm gonna go plug this in. Okay, solar panels plugged in now. I'm gonna go. Oh, that's interesting. It just turned on once I plugged the solar panels in. Okay, I didn't know it was gonna do that, but now there's a little solar panel sign right here. Okay, check this out. So I guess it's always powered on when the solar panel's on. So now it says it's charging. So the inverter's not even on. So it will charge your battery. It will charge your battery even if the inverter is not on. Okay. So right now, I didn't know that. So the battery's at 27.1 volts. No loads because the inverter's not on. No output. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is the PV. Yeah. This is the battery PV input right now. So now we're charging at about 700 watts. Ooh, and it's kind of jumping around a little bit. All right, and it shows here that we're charging the battery right now. Yes, we're doing it, guys. We're doing it. We're charging. We're charging with the power of the sun. Okay, so that's a little lower than I expected. We have like 900 watts of solar panels, so it should be more than that. But we are at the upper state of charge. Okay, we're at 99.6% according to this indicator here. So one good thing to do with their inverter off, to tune this guy, would be to charge it up to 100% and then hit and then reset the capacity meter. All right, reset it to 100, and then when you got it, and so you know that when this charges this to 100, I mean, the battery won't be at 100, may not be at 100% capacity. That's dependent on the it's dependent on the whatchamacallit, the setting you put in there, okay, for the upper limit of charge. But when it's all but when this hits 100% and it cuts off, because it's overcharged, or it's charged up, it will you can reset this to 100, and then that way you always know when you're getting to 100, and then it'll automatically kind of count down. I set it to 280, but that may not be perfect. 280 amp hours. Okay. So right now so right now we're putting in 26 amps of power right now. That's a lot of power. And it says it's at 279.4 amp hours right now. Okay. And we can go to voltage. This is a pretty neat gauge, man. I like it. So I guess when it charges, it blinks like that. Freaking rad, dude. Okay, so yeah, I didn't even have to turn it on to use the charger. So this switch here, I believe, only turns the inverter on. So once you turn the inverter on, then yeah. So let's turn the inverter on. It makes this awful beeping noise. So what it's showing here, oh, there we go, something else just popped up. But okay, so what it's showing here is solar panel. All right, solar panel is going into the inverter and charging the battery, and then it's hooked up, it's supplying power. Okay, and then it's saying battery first here, so that means it's gonna draw power from the battery first, and then when the state of charge gets too low, or voltage gets too low, it's gonna do the thing. It's gonna switch over to the grid power. Okay, it also should be running off of the solar panels too. So, but right now, yeah, right now we're, oh, I think the battery's fully charged. Yeah, the battery just went 0. I think the battery is like fully charged now. So I think it's kind of like whatchamacallit. Yeah, so it's at 100 now. Wow, that was fast. It charged it up like fast. Yeah, so this is not, so see, so the battery's fully charged now. It's at 0. So what we can do is hit %. Hold on, let me look at this again. Okay, so we're gonna set the full capacity right now. We're going to go to % and then hold it down. Okay. It says we're at 280 amp hours. Yeah, everything looks like it's ready to go. It's at 28 volts right now. What is that, 28 volts? Okay, so at 28 volts, I guess this is how I have it set. At 28 volts, it will the battery will be fully charged. Okay. Yeah. So I guess this is still at 100%. Doing the capacity initialization, it didn't work because it's already 100%. So right now it says it's discharging actually. So I guess some of the power is being discharged by the inverter a little bit. Okay, but yeah, we've got 121 volts coming in from the solar panel, and yeah, so. But there's no power going into the battery because it's fully charged now. All right, cool. So there we go. It works, guys. It works. I'm so excited. So let's go run a load real quick. Okay, I'm gonna flip that outlet on, and we're gonna run this. All right. So let's. I know this eats up like 300 watts or something. Okay, so this pulls like a 10% load, and then yeah, it's pulling 300 watts, 300 volts amps that's watts, pretty much. You know what? I don't even know why that's there. Volts, amps, and watts. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, man. Volts times amps is watts, man. So, yeah. Pretty cool. So it's drawing 12 amps from the battery right now. This guy right here. All right, I'm gonna turn it off, and that should be 0. Okay, cool. I'm so excited right now, guys. All right, I'm gonna turn that off. So yeah, this automatically powers on once the solar panels turn on. So I could have plugged this in anytime, and we could have actually, I don't know if you can use it without the battery. There is a model that's designed to be used without the battery if you have a powerful enough solar array, but that's not this model. Okay, guys. Now, does this one work like that? In a way, it does kind of work like that. It will actually run off of the solar panels, I think, because it's in SBU mode. Okay, that it's in first it's solar, battery, then utility. All right, so it prioritizes the use of solar, then the battery, then the grid. Okay, when it doesn't have enough power. So, man, this is so cool, dude. I'm so stoked. All right, yeah. So there you go. The solar panels do work. Okay, and the inverter works. So this is just inverter power. That's all this is. So if I want to shut the inverter off, turn that off. Okay, so you see the green light turns off right there, and then so the charge light, it was blinking before when it was charging, but now it's not because it's just solid green. So I think before it says it's charging now. It says charging solar, but I don't think it's putting anything in the battery. Yeah, it's not putting anything in the battery right now. But when it's fully charged, it blinks solid green, and then when it's charging, it blinks green. Okay, it's kind of like, it's very similar to the battery tender charge controller. But we'll take a look at this. So it does kind of have a battery indicator. That's what this is. All right, so when it's almost fully charged, you'll see more bars on that battery. Okay, let's see here. So there's a 0 to 24, 25 to 49, 50 to 74, and 75 to 100. So I guess we're at 75 to 100 right now. Okay. So these are the indicator lights. So solid on means it's powered by utility in line mode. Okay. And if it's flashing, it's powered by battery or PV in battery mode. All right, let me turn it on real quick. So the charge indicator, so like I mentioned, solid on is battery charging, flashing is charging. All right, and then there's the fault indicator. If there's a fault in the inverter, it's solid on, and then there's a warning if it's flashing. So right now there's no faults or anything, so good. Okay, so the AC inverter light is on. I just kicked the inverter on, and so now it's blinking. So what the blinking means, if you guys remember, is output is powered by battery or PV in battery mode. Okay, so if this was to go solid, it would draw power from the grid. So if I wanted to finish my connections, when we go fully online, I will connect the grid power. Okay, I connected it last night, and then it was just charging the battery. I didn't have this set up last night, so I disconnected it right away. So I said, like, oh, it works, but it's charge. I was trying to charge the battery. So you can charge the battery with grid power. Okay, this has a charger in it that will charge from grid power. Okay, it will also charge from what is it? From the solar panels too. Okay, but it will. You can set. So right now I have it set so it will charge with the solar power and not the grid power, hopefully, and then it will draw power from the battery first or the solar panels first to power the loads. So yeah, one thing we can test, we can see if it'll draw a load from the PV input. All right, let's see if it starts charging the battery when this is on. No. I'm trying to see if it'll just, the solar panels will just thing it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what these two mean here. I don't know what these are. But it just looks like it's drawing from the battery. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. The manual made it seem like it will use the solar panel first and then the battery. I guess when the battery is at a high state of charge, it will, I don't know. So we'll see. But it looks like it's drawing power from the battery, and then when the battery gets below a certain voltage, it's going to start charging, okay? So it's at 100% right now. Okay, so I'm kind of done playing around with it right now. We will start doing load tests, and I will start testing all these lines out. Okay, but for now I'm gonna go turn the inverter off. Okay, and then I'm gonna go disconnect the solar panel because I still got to test all this stuff in the system. But the good thing is there were no faults. The solar panels work. Okay, we can the solar panels plugged in. It actually topped off the battery just now. All right, and we know that the number one circuit, this one here, works. Okay, I have to test the other ones, and then we have to test all the loads to see how much load it pulls. Okay, if it can handle it, because yeah. So yeah, it's good, man. It works. Oh my God, I'm so happy right now. So we can see we're at 100% right here. And it looks like it just kind of goes down after it's done charging the voltage. This is a very accurate meter is what I want to say. Okay, so yeah, so in the next clip, we will begin load testing. Okay, I will start testing various loads, and we'll be testing the loads through the different breakers here to make sure I wired everything right. So far I know this one works. All right, so yeah, that's the first thing we're gonna do in the next clip is we're gonna turn all these on, and then we're gonna go to those outlets, and I'll plug this guy in. All right, my heat gun, and then we'll go test the outlets to see if they all work. Okay, maybe we might want to try something with with the ground. Okay, a three prong. That's only a 2-prong connector. So, okay. Until then, that'll probably be tomorrow. All right, I gotta go drag racing. Okay, one more test. I'm gonna unplug the solar panel, and this should just turn off. All right. And it didn't. Oh, okay. So everything just turned off. I would expect this to just kind of just shut off soon, man. There's no power going to it right now, except for what's coming out of the battery. Yeah, there's no PV input. Yeah, there's I disconnect the solar panel, but it still stays on. All right, but you can see it's not charging right now. There's no it doesn't say it's charging. There's nothing connected to anything. All it just says is the battery's connected. So I don't know, maybe it's trying to bleed off power from the battery. I'm not sure. I guess we can just leave it. Oh, there we go. I heard something turn on. But it still says SLA and it still says solar. So that is interesting. I'll turn the inverter on and I'll turn it off. That's weird. It turned off last night, and now it's not turning off. I don't know what happened, dude. I unplugged the solar panels. It's supposed to turn off. Okay, I'm gonna turn it off. So no matter what, it says SLA on it, all right? It says sealed lead acid, okay? But it's not, I don't know if that's right or not, but if like I said, if anything is wrong that could damage the battery, oh, there it goes, it turns off. So I guess you got to turn the inverter on, then turn it off, all right? And then it'll just shut down, okay? If not, it'll, I'd imagine if you have it in power save mode, it'll probably just shut off if there's a really low load. If there's like no load, it'll just shut off. But I think if you have stuff hooked up all the time, like my garage is gonna, yeah, it's gonna be on all the time. So yeah, the only one of the drawbacks to this unit is what I heard is that the inverter doesn't the inverter has a standby draw. Okay, it draws power when it's in standby. Okay, so like even though it's not, even if it's idle and it's not drawing any power, it's still drawing it's drawing power to power the whole unit. Okay, that's one of the drawbacks to this guy. Okay, but I think if you put it in power save mode and there's no power, it'll automatically shut itself off. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm not gonna mess around with it. I'm just gonna leave the settings like that though. So, okay, yeah. So what we just found out is that if we unplug the solar panel, it will still stay on. All right. I think you have to turn the inverter on, or the inverter has to be on first. Then you unplug the solar panel, and then you can turn it, and then you turn it off, and then it shuts the whole unit off. Okay. So yeah. All right. So HadesOmega is just learning new things. I'm trying to see how this thing behaves when we do certain things. All right. So this is it's a learning process for me. All right. HadesOmega out.